Let's take a first look at the SPD-SX Pro app, which is a new bit of software. First of all, turn the sampler on, if I can find the switch. Turn off the auto off function. And over to the computer. Click on the SPD-SX Pro app. We have the SPD-S Pro app open here. Let's have a look at how it works. This is the first time I've ever looked at it, and I wanted to look at it while filming it, just to let people know how straightforward it is to use. I am very used to the old bit of software. To be honest, it wasn't the easiest thing to use. This looks very, very different. So what I want to do is set this new sampler up with all of the backing tracks for the gig that I'm currently on. Set up a whole load of new kits and a whole load of new kit chains. So let's have a look here. So we've got here a list of our waves. There's a lot. Wow. Okay, we've got some loops at the bottom. But we've got, what? Something like 1,493 samples. That's awesome. As I'm scrolling, I'm on a Mac here. Don't like the way it goes across like that initially, but maybe if that was a full screen thing, I'm not on full screen, maybe that would go away. Okay, so set list set up. That's interesting. That could be useful. Initialize kit 1. Okay, so you click on that and it tells us what samples are on that kit. I want to create a new kit. Okay, here we go. That down arrow there. Right, that shows us all of the kits. What I normally do is I start towards the end, so 200 or whatever, and I work backwards. So 200 will be the first song in the set. And then I just work backwards, and then I just use them, put them on a kit chain, so I can keep all of this stuff on here. Of course, if there's enough space on this new one, I should hope so. So there we go. So I've clicked on 200. That's clearly loaded up. Patch 200 user kit. Now, how do we change the name? Here we go. Cool. So that would be, the last song we play is Rock and Roll, so I would label it that. However, let's just see with this new screen, Rock and Roll. That'd be interesting to see if you can now have longer titles, because on the old SPD-SX you couldn't have long titles. And I can see that has actually changed the title on the screen on the sampler as well. Nice. Okay, this is starting to become obvious now. Look at this, pad 1 through to pad 9. External triggers, foot switches, cool. Pad 1. Why have we got the blue and the orange? Aha, okay, layers, I see. Right, layers down here. I want to import a sample to that, or a wave file. This probably will show us wave renumber, wave edit. So to me, straight away, I can't see how to tell pad 1 what sample or what wave file I want it to play. This could be just me being really stupid. You can search as well. I like the look of that. Nice. Okay, so let's try importing a WAV straight in and see. So I'm going to drag it into this piece of software. Can I just dump it in here? Can I just dump it on the pad? No. Oh, hold on a minute. Looks like you have to hold it on the layer that you want it to go on. Processing. These WAV files have been used before on the SPD-SX, so I know that they are all set up okay. Hopefully this one, everything just works in the same way. Right, so it's saying that that's there now. That's cool. On the old one, you used to be able to preview it. There it says preview clearly, but I don't want to preview that one. I want to preview the one I've just put in. Now, where's it going to save that? Okay, yep, right down the bottom. Cool. I suppose preview-wise, it would be playing it out of the back of the sampler, maybe, because I'm not hearing any audio right now. And here we go. This is what we want. So loop wants to be off. One shot. We want alternate. Now. So that's how we change the color of our bars. I wonder if there's a way of changing all of them at the same time. Let's have a look at this set list. So I'm assuming that set list replaces the old kit chain function. Bank name. Let's go with setlist 5. Bank rename. Wonder how long this can be. Not that long. I was going to do Purple Zeppelin DP for Deep Purple set. That's not going to work. So if I do PZ Deep Purple, that just about works. Cool. Okay, there we go. And then yeah, I just need to put the kits in. So that's nice and easy to use. It's just off your screen slightly, but 200 rock and roll. Of course, that's not in that set, but just to give people the idea, that's really nice and straightforward. Yeah, cool. So it's actually more relevant to this one to add rock and roll, but that's actually the last song on the set, so I need to figure that all out. But that's cool. So it's starting to come together. So what else we've got here? Pad link, that's useful, so you can link up pad 1 and pad 2 and things like that in here. Very nice. Option. Oh, you got an undo option. Cool. Well, just to sort of sum it all up a little bit, that all looks really, really easy to use. Really nice piece of software. Well done, Roland. I also thought I'd talk you through my process for transferring my backing tracks from the SPD-SX to the new SPD-SX Pro. And the best way to do this is have all of the WAV files on your computer ready to go. Because to me, I haven't found a way of transferring data across nice and easily. So it's going to be a case of kind of manually starting again and doing it. On the SPD-SX, I rely quite heavily on the kit chains. So if I put a kit chain on, and if I make sure that I'm on the correct kit chain, so I'm going to use my second kit chain, and I'm going to go to the last song of the show. We can ignore that one. So that's the last song of the whole show. And I'm going to start with the last song of the show on there. So that one's already done and ready to go. It's just making sure the settings are correct. So if I hit the pad that I use, and then just go to the pad menu and make sure all those settings are the same. So pan is center and so on. So on here, hit that pad, just turn the sound off. And then we want to make sure that the settings are the same. It may be easier just to do it on the computer program because it's all down here. So there you go, pan is in the center. That's all good. Then we just go to the next load of settings, mode, loop off, trigger type, alt, alternating, dynamics off, poly and mono, we want poly. So loop off. So go to the new one. Here we go, loop off. We said poly on the other one. Trigger type, alt, alternate, which is what we want, because otherwise one shot will just fire and start that same trigger over and over and over again. And what was the other one? Oh, dynamics off. Come back over here. Dynamics. I don't see dynamics there. There we go, dynamics switch on. So actually we want dynamics to be off. So cool, that's that patch sorted. Then it's just going to be a case of working backwards. So going to the song before that. This one doesn't actually use any samples. I just have it in the set list just so it's there and everything's in the correct order. So I would then on here go to the next kit, which actually is easier just to do on the computer. Go to the previous patch, 199. I'll just name that the same thing. And just work through like that and just keep importing samples. And the thing I just said about where I don't use samples on all of the kits, I just put them there so they're in the right order. What I love about this is that I can have the lights, for example, red for a kit that has no samples at all. There's literally nothing there, they're all off, all the pads are off. Whereas if I go to the next one, all the others are orange, and the one that I hit to fire it is green. That's so useful. So as I'm flicking through, I can see straight away without even looking at the screen which patch I'm on and if it's got a sample. Some of my patches will have two samples. They'll have a sample on trigger 1 and trigger 3, and so therefore I can colour those as well. So I want to make pad 3 also a backing track. So I'm gonna, on here, I'm gonna drag the file over on to pad 3, let it process. And then change the lights to green. There we are. So I now know by looking at it that this is a backing track, this is a backing track, and these are two timpani samples. So something that I've discovered which is really cool is the tempo reference indicator flashing light. You can turn that on and off depending on what kit you're on. So this kit here, Whole Lot of Love, We do it free time. There are no clicks, no samples, anything. So I can hit this button and it will mean that the flashing tempo indicator stops flashing, which is awesome. And then if I then go to another kit where I do use a sample or something, there we go, rock and roll, you'll see it's set to 158 and I've got the LED reference turned on. And if we come back down to the pad, you see it's flashing nicely. Before buying the SPD-SX Pro, two things to bear in mind that you're going to need with it. A USB cable to connect it to the computer and a mounting plate to attach it to a stand. So the SPD-SX Pro comes with neither of these things.